Have you ever lain awake at night? The blue light from your phone glowing on the ceiling, your hands still scrolling? Even though you know you should have closed your eyes long ago? You're not alone. Millions of people across America are doing the very same thing. Staying up late, trying to coax sleep, while their minds are still filled with messages, videos, and unfinished thoughts. Something has changed in the way we sleep. Sleep, once a natural rhythm, has now become a task we struggle to complete. We live in an age where everything shines, but nothing ever truly rests. The phone beside your bed isn't just a tool, it's a window that never closes. Every notification is an invitation. Every swipe awakens 1,000 thoughts. Then come the ticking clock, the passing cars, and the voice inside your head replaying everything you didn't finish today. All of it blends into a restless symphony, a song with no silence, where sleep has nowhere to land. Science calls it hyperarousal, a state where the brain stays alert, as if we're living in a digital battlefield between information and exhaustion. Somehow, the modern world has taught our bodies to forget how to rest. And now, in late 2025, as artificial intelligence writes lullabies and smartwatches track every heartbeat through the night, many people feel more drained than ever before. We have every gadget to monitor our sleep, but not the peace of mind to truly sleep. Maybe the problem isn't the lack of technology, but the loss of something simpler. So before we look for ancient answers, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, when was the last time you went to bed with a quiet mind? No pings, no thoughts, no machines humming beside you? Because only by facing our restlessness can we understand why the secrets of the past still matter today. Before alarm clocks, before artificial lights painted the night, and long before the word insomnia was ever spoken, human beings knew how to rest naturally. Like trees breathe, like waves move, like night embraces day. In ancient civilizations, sleep wasn't a problem to solve. It was a ritual of life. Egyptians, Greeks, Indians, Chinese, each culture had its own sacred ways of preparing for the night. They dimmed their torches, washed their hands in cool water, and sat quietly, letting the breath fall back into rhythm with the earth. In the ancient Indian texts, breath was called prana, the energy of life. In Chinese medicine, it was qi, the invisible current that balances body and mind. Both believed, when the breath is disturbed, sleep cannot come. But when it slows, soft and steady, the mind finds its way home. There's a line from an Egyptian papyrus that says, "He who listens to his own breath before sleep shall not fear the dark." That line, written thousands of years ago, still touches us today. Because our nights may be brighter, but the quiet fear remains. Back then they had no devices, but they had mindful breathing. No apps to track their rest, but moments of stillness to welcome it. Perhaps in that simplicity, where breath and darkness became one, they found what our modern world keeps searching for: peace. And if we listen closely, beneath the hum of machines, the buzz of alerts, and the rhythm of our own worries, we can still hear it, the soft echo of ancient wisdom whispering, "Sleep does not come from effort, but from surrender." So let's journey further back, to where one simple story was born, a story of a man who learned to breathe, and in doing so, rediscovered his sleep. Long ago, before maps or written words, in a small desert village, there lived a potter named Eshan. He lived alone, in a clay house under the stars. And every night, while the village slept, Eshan lay awake, listening to the wind whisper through his unfinished pots. He didn't know why he couldn't sleep. His body was tired, but his mind kept spinning. Images, thoughts, worries, a storm he couldn't quiet. One night, exhausted, he stepped outside. The desert was silent. The moon hung round and full like one of his clay bowls. And by a small fire sat an old traveler, eyes closed, breathing slowly, evenly like the tide. Eshan asked softly, "How can you sleep here, in this cold, empty place?" The traveler smiled. "I do not seek sleep," he said. "I seek the breath." Eshan fell silent. The man placed a hand on his chest. When you breathe without awareness, the mind wanders. But when you listen to each breath, you call the mind home. From that night on, Eshan practiced. He sat by his doorway, hand on his belly, counting 1, 2, 3, breathing in deeply, as if pouring water into an empty jar, breathing out slowly, as if emptying the noise of the day. At first it was hard. Thoughts returned, unfinished pots, unspoken words. But one night, as the wind passed through, he heard it, the breath of the desert itself. Wind in sand moved. Wind out, silence returned. And in between, there was no noise, no Eshan, no sleep, only the breath, breathing itself. When he awoke the next morning, he couldn't remember when he fell asleep, only the weightless peace of dawn. The villagers began calling him the man who sleeps with the wind. And when they asked his secret, he simply said, "Sleep doesn't come from trying. It comes from a breath that knows how to rest." Centuries later, his story was written down. The breath story, a symbol of the lost art of listening to oneself. Today, science says the same. Slow, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, guiding the body into rest and digest, the state where real sleep begins. Eshan never knew about neurons or brainwaves, yet he touched the same truth science now proves. To sleep well, you must first learn to breathe well. Even now, his image, the quiet potter under the stars, hand on his heart, listening to the wind, reminds us, in this noisy digital century, what we need most may not be another app, but a single, honest breath. Now, back to your own room. The faint glow of your screen, the quiet war between your body's need for rest and the world's demand to stay awake. How do we bring Eshan's wisdom into our modern lives, filled with endless pings and pressure? The answer begins with one mindful breath. Exercise 1. The 3 calming rhythms. Before bed, sit or lie down comfortably. Place a hand on your lower belly. Inhale, gently count to 4. Hold for 2. Exhale, slowly count to 6. Imagine you're filling an empty jar with calm as you breathe in and pouring out the noise as you breathe out. Do this 5 times, then 10. Soon, the mind slows and the body softens, like clay in a potter's hands. Exercise 2. Listening to the room's breath. When you lie down, don't force yourself to sleep. Just listen. The hum of the fan, the ticking clock, the wind outside, your own heartbeat. Every sound is part of the room's breath. Breathe in with it. Breathe out with it. You're not alone tonight. You're breathing with the world, as Eshan once breathed with the desert. This gentle awareness signals your body's safe zone, activating the parasympathetic system, so sleep can arrive naturally. Not by effort, but by permission. Create a sacred space. Before turning off the light, set your phone outside the room. Use a soft amber lamp or light a small candle. Sit still for 1 minute. Do nothing, just breathe. The ancients had no technology, but they had rituals. Simple acts that told the mind, it's time to rest. In our noisy world, that small pause might be the quiet miracle we've been missing. Now, you know Eshan's story. and how a single breath can bridge the gap between restlessness and peace. But stories only live when we live them. So tonight, begin your own. No big changes, just a quiet promise to yourself. For the next 7 nights. 7 nights to breathe with intention. 7 nights to silence the final notification. And listen to the rhythm of your heart. Watch what happens. Not only to your sleep, but to your spirit. When the body truly rests, the mind wakes renewed. Heavy thoughts grow lighter. Worries fade like morning mist. Sleep isn't an escape, it's a return. A moment when the body heals and the soul reconnects with life itself. With each conscious breath, something subtle begins to change. You stop moving at the world's speed and start moving at your own. Maybe not the first night, but night after night, breath after breath, a space opens inside you where silence becomes a friend, not an enemy. And one morning, before the alarm, you might wake to soft daylight slipping through your curtains and realize you slept truly, deeply, peacefully. We live in a noisy world where everything fights for your attention. But sometimes, the most powerful act is to step away from the noise for just a few minutes and return. Return to the breath. Return to stillness. Return to yourself. From that place, real sleep and real life begin again. Gently, patiently, quietly. If this story touched you, share your experience below. You're not alone in this search. We are all travelers, seeking rest in a world that never sleeps. And if you wish to continue exploring stories of healing and reflection, join us at Life Motivation Tales, where every breath and every story awakens a little more peace within you.